welcome back to the Wise Wild Women. And I'm Sue Brain, and I'm with lovely Maddie King. And and today, Maddie, I was just saying to you before we started recording that I'd had a bit of a weird experience last night,
Yeah.
and we thought it might be quite an idea just to have a chat about it because I had, I can't call it a black nightmare. It wasn't, but it was certainly a massive, yeah, it was a big
Mm,
anxiety dream in which I woke up feeling sleep is unsafe to go back to sleep.
mm,
And I suddenly thought, well, there's nothing in my life that is causing this anxiety. And I think I was just, we were just talking about it earlier, that perhaps what I was doing was tuning into the zeitgeist and somehow working with the zeitgeist, or my energy is being used to do something with the zeitgeist. So do you want to, should we start from there? And
mm.
just in case other people are having very strange dreams, particularly dreams at the moment, because it is a bit pokey out there.
Yes.
We've got this very, very strong new moon coming up in 2 days' time, which is Aries, and that's very warlike and very aggressive.
Ooh.
So, and that's something just to flag up for everyone. If you've got a lot of Aries in your chart, just take care of yourselves. But Amadi, do you want to say something about that?
Yes. I mean, dreams are a wonderful, wonderful sort of universe to explore, really. And they're the sorting ground, if you want. So I think, yes, we process our inner fears that we might not be even aware of, but they are there, you know? Um, And those inner fears can come because of the news and everything which is, bombasting us at the moment, doom and gloom and everything. And then you have another layer on top of that. All your family and friends around you are feeling the same. So there's another layer. There's another layer on that of your community, of your country, of the
Yeah.
world. There's a huge collective energy out there, which we all, especially if you're watching, if you're with Sue and I now, it's because you are aware and you have a sensitivity. And if you have that, it means that you unconsciously will take on those energies. And the brain is a wonderful thing because it will sort them at night, the mind, if you will, the mind, the
Mm,
brain,
mm.
sort it. And I think that's what it is. But it can leave you absolutely exhausted or with feelings of fear, of sadness, of anxiety, of loneliness. There's, certain really strong feelings. I've woken up sometimes to feeling such a sad loneliness. And
Yeah.
maybe I can't really remember the dream, it escapes me, but something's gone on there, you know? And I mean, you could delve into this forever. I mean,
Yes.
are we off doing our thing in a parallel universe or whatever? But I think that the thing, it's only energy. It's only energy moving. And I can't remember when it was, Sue, but I know I did that four poster bed thing in a previous podcast, which is a fantastic way. You just basically imagine four posters when you go to bed at night, bringing up the four posters, bringing down some sort of barrier, which it could be fairy dust, it could be mercury, whatever, all around the four sides and above and below, weld it up, sew it up. So you're in this wonderful cocoon. If you're a bit claustrophobic, make it enormous so you don't get that claustrophobic.
Mm.
And then you've got Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John on each corner, looking at and all your protectors, all your ancestors around you. And it creates a really, really safe space. Then you can process like mad, but you process from the basis of safety. Now, if you
Mm.
don't fancy doing that, the other thing you can do is when you're lying there, start spinning with a silver or a gold thread from your toes upwards, like a cocoon, a beautiful cocoon. And as you're spinning it, and you may even put your hand like this because it will help you
Mm.
visualize it. And you're saying, I am safe, I am protected, I am loved. I process with ease. I
Mm.
gain understanding and wisdom, you know, whatever words you want. But if you
Mm.
do something like that, and it's individual to each of us. So I think that, we can do the same processing, but without that exhaustion that can come from it
Yes.
sometimes.
I do think that the zeitgeist or the collective call you what you want.
Mm,
It's really full of fear at the moment. So if
totally.
anybody is out there and having similar experiences or having dreams that they don't normally have, or like Maddie, you're waking up and feeling very lonely, or that you feel like your dream sleep is not a safe place for you,
Mm,
just know that what I did last night is just called in my angels. That's how I did it.
mm,
And called in the light, called in my angel,
mm,
and that calmed everything down. And I went back to sleep quite happily. Some people don't want to call in the ancestors, obviously. Some you've not had a good experience with your ancestors.
mm,
So, as Maddie says, it's about finding the best way
mm,
to help you feel safe. You will be processing at night, particularly at the moment, because of what's happening globally. There is however,
mm,
we want to talk it up or talk it down. There's fear in the zeitgeist. And understandably collective fear. So just make sure that, as Maddie says, that you do something when you go to bed so your sleep is safe and that you're not being drawn into something unprotected.
mm. The other thing you can do, you know me, I'm such a tree. I can't.
Yes.
Is we get it, okay, and we process it at night, but it's still in the daytime, all this collective
Yeah.
ripples are coming through. And it's
Yes.
nothing to fear because we can process it well. We are amazing, but we don't realize sometimes. And this is going to be easier for some people than others, but one of the very best ways of processing, I've always gone about getting out in nature, walking, touching a tree, you
Yeah.
know, hugging a tree or just touching a tree and just say, just sending anything negative, old, stale, or toxic through my arm, through my hands, into the tree. The tree takes it down into its root. It doesn't damage or hurt the earth. It just transmutes it.
Mm.
And another thing I learned from a man called Stuart Wilde is
Our
blow.
teacher,
Yes, I did. Oh,
our show
God. I
teacher,
don't know what I've said on some of these podcasts and
doesn't
what I
matter.
haven't said.
We'll
So you
say them
just tell,
again.
yeah, I'll tell you again. Sorry to be boring. I'm a little old lady, so I can be boring. Okay. Um, this is an adaptation of something he told me. If, say, I woke up feeling, God, I don't feel rested. I feel I've got a load on my mind. I'll take the dogs for a walk. I might do the tree. I might just let the wind blow through my hair and blow it out. I might like blow it out like that. But a nice one is, especially if you can visualize, rub my hands together and you
Yeah.
have this at heart level and you visualize a dark cloud or however you could visualize it. Not everyone, it's not everyone's cup of tea. Visualize dark, clingy, bad mood, cloud, fear, whatever it is, warmonger,
Loneliness.
loneliness, anything like this.
Mm.
And you don't want it. It's not yours, it's the collective, okay? And you just go, I send you away to be transmuted through the earth in love and light. Go with love. You blow it and you watch it like tumbleweed, blowing away into
Yeah.
the horizon. And you may do that 2 or 3 times. And then you talk, then with hands on heart afterwards and say, I am safe. All is well. I can remember once, and I often add this, I say, whatever goes on, whatever chaos erupts around me, I am strong, I am steady, I am resilient. So you're not denying it, you're not being a total Pollyanna, although I'm a little bit Pollyanna, but I'm not a total Pollyanna, and sometimes the brain, your inner you is not going to buy everything's okay. You know that there's lots
Mm.
going on. So you just say, okay, regardless of what's going on, I'm safe, I am resilient, I am strong, I process with ease and love.
Yes, I
And
think it's yeah, it's in I think some of us it's a lovely expression this that are on soul patrol at night.
I love
Now
you. You used that
some
earlier. I
some
love
some of
that,
them some of
Sue.
us might not resonate with this and some of us might. But this sort of sense of this came from Felicity Warner actually. We were having a conversation about working at night, helping people to release their physical body
Mm.
and move over. And I'd had a very strange experience. And she said, "Oh, you were just on Soul Patrol last night." And I think some of us are on Soul Patrol,
Yes.
patrol. And if we know that, I think that's easier because it's a job. And and but it's very important to take care of yourself, to acknowledge it, but
Self-care.
take care of yourself. Really important, because otherwise, you'll go down the. If you don't take care of yourself, you've got a danger of going down the black hole. We don't want that.
You just get caught up and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
spinning round and round. And I think self-care, yes, it's the food you eat, yes, it's staying hydrated, all these things we know are common sense things.
yeah.
But true self-care is dealing with other toxins that come into our life now that our ancestors never had to deal with. So, for example, a really good example is a friend of mine, I'm not going to say her name, she was shocked and really angry because she had downloaded this video from the internet, from YouTube or something, and it was this beautiful, beautiful soul music. And then someone said to her, and she realized it was all AI generated. And she just was so shocked, and it stopped her in her tracks. Not just the fact that this was lovely, but it was AI generated, and it was
Mm,
taking away from singers and songwriters and all the political side of it. But she said, I was scrolling, Maddie, for a couple of hours on songs. And she said, I know it's a drug. And it is. And every now and again, we have to step back and think, is it pulling us in again? Because that is giving us that little hit of dopamine on the screen.
yes.
Oh, I like that. So what I did after this conversation, I thought, I turned off all my notifications. So before, I might not have my phone on silent and it became bing, bing. And I think, oh, who's that? What's that? And it pulls me in. There's no notification, there's no pinging, there's no little signs coming up. So I get to choose when I pick up the phone. I think, right, I'm going to see my WhatsApp, my friends who, what my I do a lot of work on Facebook, so my work, da da da. We have self-care in this modern age is to be really, really discerning where we put our
Mm,
energies.
mm,
I realize that, with television, you can waste so much time. What happened to reading, you know? And sometimes I say, right, I'm having a detox for the whole weekend. I won't
mm,
put on any
mm.
screens and I read.
Yeah,
I'm a great reader anyway.
yeah.
But it's just every now and again, I would encourage you once a week or once a month or once a quarter to stop and think, am I being pulled back in? Because it's really cunning. You don't realize you're being pulled in on it.
I
And
think that the thing is that we're in this crazy world where we've got the foot on the accelerator. We're not, and it's if you're not busy, there's something wrong with your life and there's something wrong with you. You're kind of like a bit of a failure. And I was explaining last night, I'm running an astrology workshops at the moment about looking at the rhythms of that our astrology, the cycles of astrology enable us to do. And yes, we do have a time when we're walking up the hill, when we're
mm,
really active, we're out there, we want to achieve something, and then we peak. There is an opposition that happens to this when we have when it starts off, which is what we call the conjunction. It goes right up the
mm,
side of the hill, and then we peak. And then the next part of it is the waning cycle. That's when we process, and that's when we start to say this, I don't
mm,
want to carry on doing that. I'm going to, or I want to be more of
mm,
service. I don't want to be building things. I want to be processing things. I want to be able to think about legacy or what I may want to leave behind, or and what I need to release. So when the cycle starts again, you're ready. but we're not taught how to walk down the hill.
Yeah.
We're only taught how to walk up it. Just keep going. Well, of course you can't. And then you think you're a failure.
And you're labeled a failure if you don't get into the office before everyone else, and everyone else getting it, it becomes a race and everything. And I think as well as we get older, as a woman, I can say this in my 70s, is I'm having to learn not to be busy. Because all my life I've worked, it didn't hasn't felt like work, Sue, because I've been privileged to work in something, energy medicine, um, that I love and I enjoy, and I love my writing and writing the books and everything. So it doesn't seem like work, but it is to my
Mm.
body. And it's come down in stages. So if you think you are a little bit of a workaholic and be honest with yourself, not a land, not a landmark, not a measurement by society, okay, but by a natural health. If you are too busy all the time, as Sue said, it's fine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do the
Yeah.
yang, go up, but you need that yin time to come down. If you think it's all yang, I'm out there all the time, it's never really yin, then you need to find a way. This is the self-care of coming down. Now, you don't have to come down, right, chop everything off,
No,
come
absolutely. That's
down in
not, yeah,
stages.
gently,
Um,
gently.
a very wise old boyfriend of mine said to me once, well, he was young we were both young at the time, but it stayed with me for about 50 years. And he said to me, Maddie, every day you need to look forward to something. And I used to like donuts. He used to bring me donuts every day. That's what I look forward to every day, or something, or a little chocolate or something. And every week you have something to look forward to. Every month you have something to look forward to, and every year you have something to look forward to. It doesn't have to be material, money. It can be something very simple, but it's something that you're looking forward to. I know we should be in the present moment, but also getting the energy set as you move forwards of positivity.
Yes.
And so I think that is it. It is just looking at your self-care as being discerning with what's taking your energy and conserving your energy, because that's what's going to
Mm.
keep you healthy, whatever
Yeah.
age you are, but especially as you walk along your timeline. You
Yeah.
need that downtime. You need to sleep. You need to have a little nanny
Mm.
nap now and again.
Nanny
You
now.
feel
And
like it,
I also think it's really courageous to own the fact you're frightened of stopping, because a lot of people have a label. Obviously, I'm a something, so I've got to keep going. I've got, if I don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. And I think it is really
Yeah.
courageous to own that, because it is scary to stop. It is when you've
It,
been used to it,
and you've
and
been
it's
like,
been your identity. And I
I was
think
going to
that,
say that.
yeah, and I think that's the thing, is just to be very, very patient and very compassionate with yourself as you start to draw back. It's like
Mm,
coming off
mm.
drugs, isn't it? You can't just come off drugs.
No.
Some people do and they manage, but most people can't. You need to take it in very gentle steps, and
You,
then find something that fulfills you.
yes. No, you need to. I mean, I had a similar thing a little while ago because I worked with a woman called Donna Eden for many years, and I set up her school in Europe. I ran all her global advanced training, and I was Madison King, you know, something in energy medicine. And that's how I was defined for a couple of decades, although I'd worked with Donna for sort of, God, nearly 4 decades, but it was the official training. And that's what everyone knew me as. And I was always really busy and always do, and having the time of my life. But there became a moment when I entered my 70s and I thought, I
Mm,
can keep this speed up, but because I'm looking after faculty, I'm looking after the teachers, I'm looking after the students, I'm dealing with venues, I'm working with Donna, all these things. Of course, I can keep it up because I love it, but it's going to take too much of a toll on me. And so I decided to resign. And it was a very I thought I'd be okay. I'm an energy worker. Of course, I'm going to be okay. Oh my goodness me. There was such sadness letting go. Do you know, the main sadness was letting go of all the students who I've grown to really
Yeah.
love, and interested in their lives.
Mm.
And I kept I did it in stages and I gave up that was all the European training. Then I gave up the advanced training a couple of months ago. Um, and it is hitting me more than I thought. Not hitting's a hard word. It's not. It's wobbled me a bit more.
Yeah, of course it
And
has.
it's an emotional thing. It's, oh my God, that chapter's closed in my life. That was really, and I'm a metal element, so we have trouble letting go anyway of things. Um, but slowly, slowly, when I think, do you know, you've made some great memories, Maddie. Now, and this is about looking forward. Now I'm
Yeah,
doing my own online classes, and now is the time in my 70s to gather all that wonderful wisdom together that people have shared with me, and I can put out online
yeah.
to
And
people
you
all
and you do
sorts
it
of
as a
things.
wiser older woman. I mean,
Wise old woman I am.
wiser
That
older woman.
older woman.
Oh, wise old
And
woman, whatever.
oh, I don't mind. I don't
Yeah.
mind. That's the
No,
Crohn's thing.
I
But
think,
it was
yeah,
slow. You're so right, Sue. You've to do it
yeah.
slowly and take the time to look into yourself and with no judgment and no, oh, I should feel this or I shouldn't feel this. Really have one of the hardest things is having an honest dialogue with yourself.
It is. And you know what I always say when I do start doing my inner work is I light a candle for my journey and
That's
for the
nice.
next stage of my life because that's a ritual. And we don't do ritual anymore to mark or to honor
Mm,
what we're doing. And if I feel uncomfortable in myself, I always have pens and paper and I just draw it. If I don't understand what's happening, I'll draw it. And normally the drawing will help me understand what's going on. And
yes.
I find that
Yes.
really helpful.
And the other thing is, Sue, sometimes I really can't get any understanding at all. I think, well, I don't understand it, but I always have the ultimate faith that whatever it has been in my life, ultimately it's worked out okay.
Yeah.
It's been fine, and sometimes the most
Yeah.
awful things have happened. And I just, and when I
Mm,
look back now, with all this hindsight, I just think, oh God, I'm so glad that happened. It was horrible
mm,
at the time, but look where it led me. So I think it's having
yeah,
that belief that this too shall
definitely.
pass and it's probably for your own good, although it doesn't feel like it.
A great friend once said to me, because I have had a bit of a dramas in my life, he said, you know, Sue, you have survived in spite of yourself. I
I love that,
absolutely
yeah.
loved that. And I've always used that ever since. Yeah, I have survived in spite of myself. So,
I
you know,
tell
it
you
is
what,
about having a good laugh about yourself as well, because it
oh,
is a bit of a drama.
you got to have a sense of humor. I mean, I don't know if you think this, I think you probably do. I sometimes think back and I think, who was that young Maddie King? What was
Yeah,
she thinking of when she made that
yeah,
decision? What
yeah.
was she thinking of when she chose that man, as a boyfriend? What was she thinking of when she did so and so? And I look and I honestly don't understand my thought process when I was younger, but I always
No,
laugh and I always think, yeah,
yeah,
but that was what I was meant to do and I've come
yeah,
out all right in the end. But
yeah,
it is laughing, Sue. That
it
is the best
is.
juju of all.
I had a really interesting conversation with somebody my age, a little bit older than me, and I've really done a lot of work on guilt and shame because I think that was all part of the mistakes that I made as a young woman and lots of things in life that did cause me guilt and shame. But I
Will there
really
be
feel
another podcast, Sue, about all the mistakes you
I
made?
yeah, well, both of us. That would be a long
We
podcast.
could have an admission.
Yeah, but I just and she's still working with that. And I'd say to anyone who's struggling, especially as you're getting older, with guilt and shame, go and find somebody to talk to about it. You know, be heard, be witnessed, because you don't want to take that in later into your life either, because
Mm,
it really it stops you from living to the full. I think so. And we're living in very
mm.
strange times at the moment. So I would say to anyone at the moment, on all the stuff that's happened to you personally, the backdrop that we're what do you call, I don't know. I mean, we're leaning against, if you like. It's very unsafe out there. It is. So we need to be very vigilant at the moment, as Maddie says, about what is true and what is not
Mm.
true. And if you're feeling anxious, then find somebody to talk to about it. Or we've talked a lot about blowing it away or those NLP techniques. But, feel it, allow it to come, invite it in, draw it out,
Mm.
or blow it out, or go for a walk, or whatever it is for you. But you may well be, what's the word for it, Maddie? Processing not just your anxiety, but global
Collective.
anxiety. Yeah.
There's two things you can do as well. One is, and it's proven that this works, is you think about it and then give yourself a cuddle.
Yes, the butterfly is a lovely one, that one, isn't it?
You can pat yourself, you can haven yourself. Paul McKenna's havening. You say it's going to be okay. You're safe. Whatever happens, you're going to be okay. Cuddle yourself. And the other thing at night, if you've got thoughts going around, rub your hands together, shake them off. One hand on your forehead and one
Oh,
hand
one at the
on
back.
the
Yeah,
back. This is
lovely.
really bringing the brain to
Yeah,
the blood to the forebrain, which is the
yeah,
part of the brain that finds solution. It's like your mum going, it's going to be okay. And the back
yeah.
of the hand reduces fear and anxiety.
That's a fabulous tip, isn't it?
Yeah, if you
That's
want to
wonderful.
process things as well, there's a
Yeah,
really nice, nice thing. You just hold here because
yeah.
just here, 2 inches above the tip of your ear, are neurovascular reflex points that deal with processing.
And isn't that the amygdala as well in there? It's deep
Well,
inside, isn't it?
that's a little bit
Yeah,
further back.
the
These
limbic
are the
system.
spleen. These are
Right, the
associated with spleen
spleen.
energy, and spleen. You can do that as well when you're eating.
Yeah,
Spleen is about processing. All your fingers are also here on 100 meetings point, that point there, that acupressure point there, which is where we get this divine connection, that inspiration, that wisdom from our ancestors. So breathing, smiling, and just saying, I'm safe. It's going to be okay. I'm safe.
but isn't it interesting when something happens, like you do go like this, don't you?
Yeah. And you go, oh
Automatically.
my God, what am I
Yeah,
going to do?
automatically. It's like, oh my God. So, we have it that we have the instinct just in there to go and to touch these
There are
spaces
those
in our
things. The other
body.
thing that people do is if they're shocked or something. I remember seeing many years ago this strange program, Japanese program, where they used to jump out and shock people. And everyone would go, "Oh my God!" So here, I know I've told
Yeah,
everyone about tapping the thymus, but
yeah,
that's another one. The other calming thing is just hold your heart and your belly
yes,
and
yes,
just
that's a
breathe
lovely
and
one.
just tell yourself
Mm.
you're safe. You're steady in a sea of chaos.
A city in a sea of chaos. Maddie, is there anything else you'd like to say to finish us off tonight? Well, not finish us off, but just finish us off.
I've said loads today. I just think, okay, until we meet again, what I would love you to do is for you to try and commit to take a couple of minutes every day, if possible, sitting outside, if possible. I know it's not possible for everyone, if not sitting, looking out a window, and just coming back to you and just quickly going through. Are you getting enough nature? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you self-caring enough? Are you nurturing yourself enough? What's your screen time doing? Are you suffering from an epidemic of busyness? Being honest with yourself. No one can hear you. No one else knows. No one's judging you, but be honest and just think, okay, tomorrow, what could I do better?
Yes.
That's all. A
And
little
as
thing and a little tiny thing.
Yeah, and as Scarlett O'Hara said, tomorrow is another day.
It is
At
indeed.
the
It
end
is
of
indeed.
when Rhett Butler had walked off finally. And she went, I'll get him back because tomorrow is
It's
another
another
day.
day.
I love that. I just love it. Okay, all well, thank you so much for watching us and listening to us. If you
Yes.
like what we're saying, give us a like, give us a comment. We love hearing from you.
Yeah.
And we'll see you when we see you next time. I think that's probably the best way of putting it. Goodness knows what will have happened by then. Take
Good
care
things.
all. Bye for now.